Hi, I'm Mike with Riding in the Ozarks, and today we're putting a new headlight in my 2024 Street Glide. Now, the options for headlights on this motorcycle are somewhat limited. In fact, unless you want to spend money on something like the Baja Designs or the Custom Dynamics Shark Demon, there are not a lot of options for this new Street Glide. And at the time, I wasn't sure I wanted to go to A, that expense of like the Shark Demon, or B, that look. I'm still on the fence about the look, but we'll talk about that more at the end of the video. Let's get started by putting the bike up on a lift so it stays in the same position throughout this video, and I'm going to show you what the lighting looks like with the stock light against the garage door inside my shop with all the lights out, and then open the garage door up so you can kind of see it projected across my yard toward the house. And that'll give you some feeling for what the current stock light looks like. Then we'll put the new light in, and then we'll do the same shots with that. So we'll have a good comparison at the end, and I'll be able to give you like frame of stock light and then the same frame with the new light at the same angles and stuff. So hopefully this works out well and you can get a really good perspective on how much better or worse, or if it's the same when we're done. It's low beam pattern against the garage door. Where the bike is sitting now, we're about 1.5 panels of the garage door on low. You can see the beam is kind of pretty much highlighting the second panel in the middle. Stock light. To give you some perspective on how far out it'll shine, we're going to open the garage door. You can see how well it illuminates the yard out there, how far it is. We're going to keep the bike in the same position and put the new headlight in. One bolt, 2 bolt, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can squeeze that lifts that tab up inside there, and then disconnect this whole assembly, leaving this all together. Now we'll take this headlight out and replace it. These are the integrated turn signals. Definitely looks like if somebody wants to come out with brighter ones or different ones, sequential ones or something, that those wouldn't be terribly hard to replace either. Okay, we have to remove this mounting bracket from this headlight. It connects there on each side. Once you get the bracket out, you have a bolt on each side of the headlight. These are all T25s in here. Actually, this looks like this is a hex. 2 for this lower frame. This is the Harley OEM headlight made in Mexico. It's got some fins on the back, plug down here. This is the Amazon headlight. It is finned to dissipate heat and has the plug there, which is actually probably basically the same place, but we have a pigtail to make it easier to reach instead of that. This is the projector bulbs in the new LED light. And that's what it looks like in the OEM Harley light. The silver in the back probably reflects better in some ways, but definitely looks like we have a lot less bulbs in here. You'll have to use these 2 bolts that came with the light and the ones that go on the end here. They are threaded different than the ones from Harley. And this is what the inside of the fairing looks like. Pretty good ventilation around the amp there and stuff. Pretty clean looking compared to some of the inside the fairings I've seen on the older bikes. All right, guys, assembly is basically the same thing as disassembly, but in reverse. So I'm not going to show you putting it all back together. I did all that stuff. This is really not rocket science. This is something that I felt was very easy that anybody at home should be able to do with some basic skills. You know, follow the video, pay attention to where the bolts go. One of the tricks I use is I take a cardboard box and I put holes in it. And as I take a bolt out, I stick it through the hole into the cardboard box, and then I maybe label it 1, 2, 3. And as I'm recording the video, like I did 1, 2, 3, where these go. So then I know where to put them back and I can reference my video. You can do something like that, take a picture, you can make a system. It's not rocket science is the point. And don't be afraid to do this at home. Do make sure you protect your front fender with a cover, blanket, moving pad, something. That's a common thing, is dropping the fairing and the headlight cone on the front fender and maybe putting a dent or scratch in it. So make sure you protect that. Low beam. Does look like it spreads wider and illuminates more low. Let's see what high beam looks like. Definitely feel like it's getting a little higher. I'm getting a little more light up. Let's open the garage door and see how it looks. That's on high beam, and I definitely feel like it is shining out there further and maybe brighter, illuminating more of the yard toward the house. That's low beam toward the house. Definitely, with that on, you don't see as much of the house. Definitely feel like that's getting out there further. Hey, I want to thank Beyond Riders for sponsoring today's video. They've been sponsoring the channel for quite a while now. We're getting into cooler weather. I'm going to get that flannel back out, that Kevlar lined armored flannel that I like to wear in the fall. Got one that I really like from them that's in black I'll be wearing this season. I really thank them for supporting the channel and for sponsoring today's video. This product is not sponsored by the brand or any Amazon or anybody else. It's sponsored Beyond Riders because I took the money I get from them and I used it to buy a headlight to make a video for you. So thanks for supporting the channel, guys. And I hope everybody can appreciate why I have sponsors that allow me to do videos like this. This is the stock headlight on low against the garage door. Now this is the new light on low on the garage door. This is the stock headlight on high on the garage door. This is the new light on high on the garage door. Here is the stock high beam shining across the yard with the garage door open. Here is the new light on high beam shining across the yard with the garage door open.
3 weeks later.
So here's the conclusion. I paid $216 for this light on Amazon. I think the brand is Luxmoto. It's the same brand that I used for the smoked tail lights in the back. I think it's worth the $216, assuming that it lasts a reasonable amount of time. One of the things I hear from mechanics and shops who deal with people who buy lights and then they don't work and things like that, or they're throwing a code and they're trying to troubleshoot it, is that certain lights sometimes will throw a code, the load balancing is not quite right for the charging system, or the lights don't last a really long time. Now, my 2016, I put a Z Off-Road Amazon headlight in that thing like 5 years ago, 50,000 miles, and it's lasted really well, and I'm really happy with that. But this is a whole new headlight design, and like I said, there's not a lot of options out there. So I decided to try this one. I think Eagle Lights is doing a light that looks very similar to this for like around $500, or maybe one or two other companies, but it's basically looks the same as this Chinese light, or it's the honeycomb light style. So I wanted to try this one first. I spent my own $216 of it. That's money I've received from Beyond Rider sponsoring the channel and stuff. So I'm putting that money back into the channel. That's how I bought my tail lights, things like that. So those are not sponsored products in the sense that someone gave them to me. I took money that I could have spent on whatever I choose to spend it on, and I spent it on products to do reviews on for you guys. Now, I'm going to run this light for a while. Will I replace it? Possibly. Now, it's the end of August when I'm recording this, and I actually bought this in July and got it put in before I went to Sturgis. So I've put about 4,000 miles actually on this light since I installed it. We're going to see how it does a little longer than that. Will I keep this light in the bike forever? I don't know. I kind of, since I bought the bike and got the Öhlins rear suspension, I'm kind of thinking about making this more of a performance build out of the bike if I can afford to do that. So we may go with the honeycomb style light in the future, and that may fit more with the performance build kind of aspect that I'm looking at maybe going toward with the bike in the future. So we'll just have to see. But hopefully this video helps someone that's on the fence about whether they want to buy $216 headlight, or if they want to go to a $500 headlight, or if they want to go to a $700 headlight from, Baja Designs or some other manufacturer. I can't say that I know all of them that are out there. I know at the time doing this research, it was this was the next step up over stock without spending $500 or more dollars. So that's what we tried. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, get some value out of this. As always, y'all stay safe, keep on riding, and hope to see you on the road.